Never Death Row Production. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Tyson, next heavyweight champion of the world.
Alrighty guys, what's going on? Welcome on back. It's the Empire. I'm your host Risky. It is Wednesday, May 27th. Took the day off yesterday. Currently riding my longest losing streak of the season, 4 straight days in a row. So I was exhausted yesterday. I was like, you know what, let me take the day off. But you guys already know the rules. It's on to the next one. We got a full slate of baseball here on tap. Games get started nice and early. Guys, Outlier Sportsbook, the link is down in the description. Sign up with them. The first week is free. Also, at the end of the video, the 4 bets we'll be placing here today ourselves. With all of that being said, let's jump in. Alright, first game up, we got the Marlins in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays. Yuri Perez on the mound for the Marlins. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Blue Jays. Alright, getting into this one here. The Blue Jays won yesterday's game, a score 8-1. Today, they're going to be seeing the right-handed pitcher Yuri Perez. He's not looked good in the month of May. He comes into this game with an ERA close to 5. His last outing at home against the Mets was probably one of his best starts of the season. Pitched into the 7th inning, only gave up a run, but you holding off the Mets bats is not something I'm really gonna look at as a sign of him turning things around. I am paying attention to those 2 starts, the 3 starts beforehand, where he pitched a combined 16 innings, gave up a combined 13 runs. Another thing you gotta pay attention to with Yuri Perez when he starts, he has terrible road splits. When we look at his numbers on the road, this season he has a road ERA of 5.17. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Toronto Blue Jays lineup that's batting .252 versus right-handed pitching. They're only slugging .380. When I look at the matchup for him, there was 2 guys that really matched up well against Yuri Perez. That was George Springer and Okamoto. I can see Yuri Perez going about 6 innings, giving up 2 to 3 runs in this game, turning it over to a Marlins bullpen. Still one of the best in the majors, and they're completely rested coming into it. I see them coming in this game, shutting the door on the Blue Jays bats. On the other side, we got Kevin Gausman. He's looked really good this season. He comes into it with a 3.20 ERA. His last 2 outings, 12 combined innings pitched, only 1 run given up. Today, he's going to be seeing a Miami Marlins offense that's batting .245 versus right-handed pitching. They also have a low slugging versus righties. They're only slugging .379. Looking at the matchup for him, Kevin Gausman is a guy that's another fastball pitcher, just like Yuri Perez. But unlike him, he throws a very good slider for a secondary pitch. Unlike Yuri Perez, who really is just a fastball pitcher, his slider is not dependable. Looking at the matchup, there was 2 guys that really matched up well against Gausman in this Miami Marlins lineup, and that was Stowers and Hicks. I can see them getting to him in this game here today. Looking at the bullpen for the Blue Jays, they're taxed coming into it. I can see the arms available for the Blue Jays letting up a run or 2. Nothing too crazy though. It's up in Toronto in the Rogers Center. This year, the Rogers Center really hasn't played for either overs or unders. The ballpark itself is really just, it hasn't been a factor as much per se, so let's get to the picks here. The Blue Jays are the betting odds favorites in this game, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking George Springer of the Blue Jays for 2 total bases today. Next up, we got the Nationals in Cleveland taking on the Guardians. Miles Mikolas on the mound for the Nats. We got Williams on the mound for the Guardians. Alright, getting into this one, the first thing I'm looking at is the wagering right now. Currently, the Guardians are the favorites in this one. 67% of the wages up to this point are on the Guardians money line, but it only makes up 15% of the money. 85% of the money is currently on the Nationals, only making up 33%. So as of right now, a lot of people like this Nationals team, and for good reason. They come into this game looking to complete the sweep of the Guardians here today. They're 2nd place in the NL East coming into this one. They're 19-11 in their road games. Today they got Miles Mikolas on the mound. They put him in this new role where he's only going about 4 innings, 5 max, and it's actually been working out well for them. Today, he's going to be seeing a Cleveland Guardians team. Guys, we talk about it all the time. This Guardians team this season is not hitting right-handed pitching. They're only batting .220 versus righties, slugging .361. We saw them not get to Zach Littell the first game of this series. Looking at Miles Mikolas' matchup for him, he is throwing a good slider right now and a good sinker. His ground ball rate is up to 38%. That's very good. Looking at the matchup for him, there was one guy that really matched up well against him. That was Jose Ramirez. Michaelis is throwing that sinker down and in on left-handed batters. I can see Ramirez taking him yard here today. The Nationals bullpen continues to play very well here in the month of May. In over 20 games played, they have a bullpen ERA of 4.05. They're completely rested coming into it. I see the Nationals bullpen coming in, taking over from Michaelis, shutting the door on the Guardians bats. On the other side, we got Gavin Williams. He was getting roughed up in the beginning of May, giving up 5 runs in back-to-back starts, but his last outing against the Phillies in Philadelphia, pitched 8 innings, gave up no runs. Looking at the matchup here today for him, for one, Gavin Williams comes into this game with the 4th most strikeouts in Major League Baseball. This Nationals team strikes out the 10th most in the majors. That will benefit Williams a lot. This Nationals lineup batting .237 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .424. Gavin Williams does struggle versus left-handed bats. There's a bunch of good lefties in this Nationals lineup. I could see CJ Abrams taking him yard here today, or possibly Meade, another guy that matched up well against them. The Cleveland Guardians bullpen is in very good shape. They're still one of the best bullpens in the majors. I see Gavin Williams going about 6 innings here today, giving up 2 runs. This Guardians bullpen coming in, giving up a run, but nothing too crazy. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be 80 degrees throughout with 4 to 5 mile per hour winds blowing from the outfield into the diamond. Nothing too crazy. Looking at the ballpark factor though, Progressive Field this season has been a under stadium. They're ranked the 24th lowest right now in the majors as far as offensive efficiency in the ballpark. Let's get to the picks. The Guardians are the betting odds favorites in this game, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Washington Nationals on the money line. The game total set at 8. I like the under 8 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking CJ Abrams of the Nationals for 2 total bases. Up next, we got the Mariners in Sacramento taking on the Athletics. We got Logan Gilbert on the mound for the Mariners. The left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs on the mound for the Athletics. Alright, getting into this one here, the Mariners come into this game looking to complete the sweep of the Athletics. They got Logan Gilbert on the mound in this game. He's coming off one of his better starts of the year against the Royals in Kansas City. He pitched into the 6th inning, gave up no runs. He saw this Athletics team towards the end of April. In that game, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 3 runs. Looking at the matchup for Gilbert here today, he's going to be seeing an Athletics lineup that's batting .251 versus right-handed pitching, the 7th best in the majors, slugging .406. That's the 6th best in the majors. They have a 107 WRC. Logan Gilbert throws that fastball primarily, mixes in the splitter and the slider. Every once in a while, you're seeing that changeup or the curve. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he doesn't necessarily struggle versus left-handed bats. Lefties are only batting .220 versus Logan Gilbert this season, but they are slugging .404. They have a higher barrel rate, a higher hard hit percentage versus Logan Gilbert. I can see guys like Langoliers and Kurtz get into him here today. I can see Logan Gilbert going about 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, turning it over to a Mariners bullpen. Still one of the best in the majors. They're rested coming into it. I see them stopping the bleeding. Looking at the other side, we got the left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs. He's looked good this year. Coming off a bad start last week though in San Diego, pitched 6 innings, gave up 4 runs. Today, looking at the matchup for him, he's going to be seeing a Mariners lineup that's pretty much at the bottom of the league versus lefties. They're only batting .190 on the season, slugging .315. I can see Springs, a contact pitcher here today, having a good outing. The only guy he really has to pitch around is Rodriguez. Other than that, I can see him having a good game, going about 6 to 7 innings, giving up a run, turning it over to an Athletics bullpen. This is going to be the big determining factor to me in this game. This Athletics bullpen has been playing much better in the last week or so, but still one of the worst bullpens in the majors, a bullpen I do not trust. I see them coming in this game, letting up some runs late. That'll be the determining factor in this game here today. Looking at the weather, it's going to be an afternoon game, 70 degrees throughout. It's out in Sacramento. We know what ballpark this is, the best offensive ballpark in the majors. Let's get to the picks. The Mariners are the betting odds favorites in this game, and I like them here on the money line. The game total set at 9.5. I like the under 9.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Luke Riley of the Mariners to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Diamondbacks in San Francisco taking on the Giants. We got Soroka on the mount for the D-backs. We got McDonald on the mount for the Giants. Alright, getting into this one here, the Diamondbacks continue this good stretch of baseball they've been playing. They're now 9-1 in their last 10 games played. They're looking to complete the sweep of the Giants here today. They got Michael Soroka on the mount, a guy that's blown my expectations out the water this year. Over 10 starts, has a 3.27 ERA, coming off a really good outing last week against the Rockies. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Giants team. On the season, they are batting .244 versus right-handed pitching, but they're still one of the worst offensive team in the majors. Looking at the matchup for Soroka, Soroka's throwing that slider fastball combo, mixing in the changeup. He has a ground ball rate of 38% coming into this one, strikeout rate of 8 Ks per 9 innings, only 3 walks per 9. I can see Michael Soroka going about 6 scoreless, if not giving up a run here today, turning it over to a Diamondbacks bullpen that's completely rested coming into it. I like the arms that's going to be available for the D-backs in this one. On the other side, we got Trevor McDonald. He's looked really good this season to start off, but his last 2 starts, the wheels have kind of fallen off the bus. Got lit up in that last outing against the White Sox. Didn't make it out of the 3rd inning. Gave up 5 runs. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing an Arizona Diamondbacks lineup that's batting .236 on the season versus right-handed pitching. In their last 8 games played, this D-backs lineup's batting .252 as a unit, slugging .408. Looking at the matchup overall, McDonald is a sinker ball pitcher, throwing it 60% of the time. This Diamondbacks lineup, you see they're all green against the sinker. There's a bunch of left-handed bats in this lineup that match up well against McDonald, especially Corbin Carroll. I can see Carroll having a really good game here today. I see McDonald going about 4 or 5 innings, giving up 3 runs, turning it over to Giants bullpen. They're rested. They've been really good this year. I see them coming in, stopping the bleeding. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be about 60 degrees throughout. It's out in San Francisco, a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Let's get to the picks. The Diamondbacks are the betting odds favorites in this game, and I like them here on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the under 7.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks for 2 total bases today. Up next, we got the Phillies in San Diego taking on the Padres. The left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez on the mount for the Phillies. We got Walker Buehler on the mount for the Padres. Alright, getting into this one here, the Phillies come into this game also trying to complete the sweep of the Padres here today. The Phillies are now 6-4 in their last 10 games played. They got their ace Christopher Sanchez on the mount. He's looked dominant this season, comes into it with over 10 starts made, has an ERA of 1.60. Since the month of May has begun, he's made 4 starts. In those 4 starts, he has 32 innings pitched, no runs given up. Today, he's going to be seeing a Padres lineup that's towards the bottom of the league versus left-handed pitching. They're batting .213 versus lefties, only slugging .321. We saw in the first game of the series, this Padres lineup struggle with Luzardo. Coming into this game, Christopher Sanchez has the 3rd most strikeouts in Major League Baseball. Looking at the matchup here today for him, besides Furman, there was nobody that I really worry about for Christopher Sanchez. I could see him going about 6 to 7 innings scoreless, if not giving up a run, turning it over to Phillies bullpen. That's probably not going to have their closer here today, but they do have some other good arms available to come in and stop this Padres lineup. On the other side, we got Walker Buehler on the mount, extremely mediocre. Comes into it with a 5.05 ERA. He's going 5 innings in all his starts, giving you the minimum. He's given up 2 runs in all his outings. Today, he's going to be seeing a Phillies lineup that's batting .232 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .388. But in their last 8 games played, they're batting .242 as a unit, slugging .417. We've seen the bats in this series come alive. Looking at the matchup for Walker Buehler, there is 2 guys that really match up well against him. It's the guys you don't want matching up well against you. It's Schwarber and Harper. I can see this Phillies lineup coming out here today, getting 3 runs off of Buehler, him going about 5 innings, turning it over to a Padres bullpen. Still one of the best in the majors. They're extremely rested coming into it. It's going to be an afternoon game out there. It's going to be about 60 degrees throughout. We're going to have 12-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond to right field, but more towards foul territory. You know it's out in San Diego, a pitcher-friendly ballpark. Let's get to the picks. The Phillies are the betting odds favorites in this game here today, and I like them on the run line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Angels in Detroit taking on the Tigers. We got Soriano on the mound for the Angels. We got Mize on the mound for the Tigers. Alright, getting into this one here, the Angels come into this game looking to complete the sweep of the Tigers. The Tigers are now 1-9 in their last 10 games played. Today, they're going to be seeing the Angels ace in Soriano. We know he started off the season amazing, but since the month of May has begun, he's come back down to earth, got hit up in back-to-back starts against the White Sox. 2 starts ago against the Dodgers team, got lit up for 6 runs. Did have a good outing last week though against an Athletics lineup that hit right-handed pitching very well in that game. He pitched into the 7th inning, gave up 2 runs. Today he's going to be seeing a Detroit Tigers lineup, I should say, that on the season is batting .240 versus right-handed pitching. In their last 8 games played versus right-handed pitching, this Detroit Tigers lineup's only batting .217, slugging .370. Soriano is a guy that throws the sinker primarily, is able to work the strikeouts, but is able to work the ground ball as well, has a ground ball rate of 40%. There was one guy that I only worry about for Soriano, that was Riley Green. Other than that, I could see Soriano going about 7 innings, giving up a run here today, turning it over to an Angels bullpen that is still one of the worst bullpens in the majors, the 2nd worst ERA in Major League Baseball coming into it. The arms available for the Angels here today, I see them coming in, giving up 3 runs. Turning it over to the other side, we got Casey Mize. He's looked good this season. He comes into it with an ERA of .250. His last outing against the Guardians, pitched into the 7th inning, gave up 2 runs. Today against this Angels lineup, this Angels team on the year is batting .220 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .369. But in their last 8 games played versus righties, they're batting .240, slugging .411. Casey Mize despite being a right-handed pitcher, struggles with right-handed bats. This lineup is loaded with righties. There was 2 guys that really matched up well against Mize. That was Trout and Adele. I could see Mize going about 6 innings, giving up 2 runs here today. On the year, the Detroit Tigers bullpen had been really good. We've seen in the last week this Tigers bullpen has been blowing games non-stop. In yesterday's game, we saw it once again. In their last 8 games played, this Detroit Tigers bullpen has an ERA of .520. Looking at the arms here available for them, I could see the arms for the Tigers coming in once again, letting up some runs here today. Looking at the weather, it's going to be about 70 degrees throughout. We are going to have 8 to 12 mile per hour winds blowing from the diamond to the outfield. It's out in Comerica Park this season. It's been a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Let's get to the picks. The Tigers are the betting odds favorites in this game here today, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Los Angeles Angels on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Joe Adele of the Angels to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Cubs in Pittsburgh taking on the Pirates. Jameson Taillon on the mound for the Cubs. Bubba Chandler on the mound for the Pirates. Alright, getting into this one here, the Cubs come into this game on a 10-game losing streak now. Today they have Jameson Taillon on the mound. He's looked absolutely terrible this season. Comes into it with a .520 ERA. Back-to-back starts, he got lit up against the White Sox. He gave up 8 runs. Last week against the Astros, gave up another 4 runs. He actually saw this Pirates lineup at the beginning of April. In that game, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 6 runs. Taillon comes into it with a hard hit rate of 48%, struggles versus left-handed bats. In that game against the Pirates, Brandon Lowe hit a home run off of him. When I did the matchup here today for Jameson Taillon, he struggles with left-handed bats. Brandon Lowe and O'Neal Cruz really match up well against him. I can see him coming out here today, going about 5 innings, giving up 3 to 4 runs, turning it over to a Cubs bullpen that has been the one decent spot for them. I can see the Cubs bullpen still coming in, giving up a run or so, but nothing too crazy. On the other side, we got Bubba Chandler on the mound. He has not looked good this season. He's actually coming off one of his best starts of the season. Last week against the Blue Jays, he pitched 5 innings, gave up only a run in that one. The big thing with this guy is his walk rate coming into it, averaging right now 6.5 walks per 9 innings. He's looked absolutely struggling with his command. He's a guy that throws the fastball over 50% of the time. really struggles with the command on his fastball. His slider, his secondary pitch, really struggling with the command on that. He has a hard hit rate of 42% coming into it. Another guy that struggles with left-handed bats. He's going to see 6 lefties in this Cubs lineup here today. Not to mention the righties in this lineup, like guys like Suzuki really match up well against Bubba Chandler. I can see Chandler going about 5 innings, having his regular 3-4 walks, giving up 3 to 4 runs in this one, turning it over to a Pirates bullpen. At the top of May, they were playing really good, but we've seen the regression in the last few weeks. I'm expecting the Pirates bullpen to come in once again, give up a few runs as well. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be 75 degrees throughout with only 5-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the outfield to the diamond. Looking at the ballpark factor, this season, PNC Ballpark has been a very hitter-friendly to the, I should say, over-friendly as well. So let's get to the picks here. Pirates are the betting odd favorites in this game, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Chicago Cubs on the money line. The game total set at 8.5. I really like the over 8.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, give me Suzuki of the Cubs for 2 total bases today. Up next, we got the Braves in Boston taking on the Red Sox. Elder on the mound for the Braves. The left-handed pitcher early on the mound for the Red Sox. All right, getting into this one here, the Atlanta Braves. Well, yesterday's game was the first game of the series. The Braves did win 7-6. Both of these teams had off on Monday. Today, Bryce Elder's on the mound for the Braves. This guy's looked amazing this season. 10 starts. He has a 1.97 ERA, coming off a really good outing last week against the Nationals. Pitched 6 innings, gave up a run. Saw this same Red Sox team in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. In that game, he pitched 8 innings, gave up 3 runs. Looking at the matchup here today for Elder, this Red Sox lineup on the season's only batting .229 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .357. They have been hitting the ball a bit better of late. They are batting .245 in their last 8 games played. Looking at the matchup for Elder, there is only 2 guys that match up well against him. That was Contreras and Abreu. Other than that, I can see Elder coming out here today, having a really good outing, going about 6-7 innings, giving up a run, turning it over to a Braves bullpen. Towards the beginning of the season, they were one of the best bullpens, but since the month of May has begun, we've really seen the regression. In their last 10 games played, they have a bullpen ERA of 4.75. I see the bullpen arms available for the Braves coming in, giving up a run, but nothing too crazy. On the other side, we got the rookie pitcher Elder. He's looked really good to start off his career. He's made 10 starts, over 10 starts up to this point, 3.33 ERA. Coming off a decent outing last week against the Royals, pitching to the 7th inning, gave up 3 runs. But the start before that saw this Braves team. In that game, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. Looking at the matchup here today for him, this Braves team on the season's batting .255 versus lefties, slugging .416. But in their last 8 games played as a unit, they're batting .220, slugging .360. This team, the bats have really cooled off. Yesterday's game was the best offensive game we've seen from them in a while. Looking at the matchup here today for Elder, for Early, we talk about it all the time when he comes out here. The one thing I really like about him, he throws his entire pitching arsenal. It's really kept batters and lineups off balance this season. When I did the breakdown in the matchup for him, there was 3 bats that really match up well against him. It's Austin Riley, Matt Olson, and Michael Harris. I can see Early having a very similar outing to his last outing against the Braves, where he goes about 5 innings, gives up 2 to 3 runs, turning it over to a Boston Red Sox bullpen that has also shown some regression in the last 2 weeks. They come into it in their last 10 games played with a bullpen ERA of 5.05. I'm expecting them to give up a run or 2 when they come into it. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be 80+ degrees throughout with only 5-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond to the outfield. Looking at the ballpark factor, this season, Fenway has really been an under-friendly ballpark, very pitcher-friendly ballpark. Let's get to the picks. The Braves are the betting odd favorites in this game, and I like them here on the run line. The game total set at 8. I like the under 8 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Austin Riley of the Braves for 2 total bases today. Alright, up next we got the Cincinnati Reds in New York taking on the Mets. We got the left-handed pitcher Abbott on the mound for the Reds. We got Brazaban on the mound for the Mets. Alright, we got Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds in this one. Started off the season getting roughed up, but in his last 2 outings, gotten back on track. He's gotten his command issue back down, but still coming into this game, he's averaging 4.5 walks per 9 innings. This is a guy that's at his best when he's able to work the strikeouts. His strikeout numbers have been down this season. Looking at the matchup here today for Abbott, he's going to be seeing a Mets lineup that's batting .225 versus left-handed pitching, slugging .380. Besides Soto and Vientos, I don't think Abbott will really have a problem here today. The big thing for him, he's going to need to get past that 6th inning for the Reds to have a chance in this one. We know how bad that Cincinnati Reds bullpen is. They continue to play bad. Like I said, if he could get past the 6th inning, or really get past, give the Reds a much greater chance in this game here today. On the other side, we got Brazaban on the mound. He's going to be opening up the game here today for the Reds. He's going to go one time through the lineup, pitch 3 innings. After that, they're going to bring in the rookie pitcher Tong into the game. He throws a very good fastball around 97, 98 miles per hour right now down in the minors. It does top out sometimes at 100. Like I said, he's a highly touted prospect for the Mets. Looking at the matchup here today for him though, this is a spot I can see this Reds lineup getting to him. The Cincinnati Reds in their last 8 games played is batting .260 as a unit, slugging .408. I can see this lineup with 5 left-handed bats getting to Tong here today, turning it over to Mets bullpen that continues to play very well here in the month of May. I see them coming in, stopping the bleeding. Looking at the weather, it's going to be about close to 80 degrees throughout. We're going to have a small gust of wind blowing from the diamond to the outfield. Nothing too crazy. Let's get to the picks. The Mets are the betting odd favorites in this game, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Cincinnati Reds on the money line. The game total set at 8.5. I like the over 8.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Ellie De La Cruz of the Reds for 2 total bases today. Up next, we got the Minnesota Twins in Chicago taking on the White Sox. The left-handed pitcher Prelip on the mound for the Twins. Davis Martin on the mound for the White Sox. Alright, getting into this one here, we got the left-handed pitcher Prelip on the mound. Another rookie pitcher that's looked really solid this season. Coming off his worst start of the year though against the Red Sox. Pitched 4 innings, gave up 5 runs in that one. Today, he's going to be seeing a White Sox lineup that has been killing left-handed pitching. They're batting .247 versus lefties, slugging .411. There's a bunch of guys in this lineup that match up well against Prelip. He's thrown that fastball, top it out around 97, 98 miles per hour. He's throwing that 40% of the time, mixing in a very good slider. But like I said, there's some right-handed bats in this lineup, guys like Vargas, Montgomery, that could really get to him here today. On the other side, we got Davis Martin. He's looked amazing this season. ERA below 2 coming into it. Hard hit rates at 29%, ground ball rate at 41. He's going to be seeing a Minnesota Twins lineup loaded with right-handed bats. He has good splits versus righties. This Twins lineup on the season is batting .240 versus right-handed pitching. I can see Davis Martin, who has decent numbers against in the past matchups against this Twins lineup. I can see him here today having a good outing, going about 6 innings, giving up 2 runs, turning it over to a White Sox bullpen. Well, let me get to the bullpens. When it comes to the bullpens, both of the bullpens are taxed. I do give a slight bullpen advantage to the White Sox, but I'm expecting both of these bullpens to come in here today and give up a few runs. Looking at the weather, it's going to be about 65 degrees throughout, but we are going to have a small gust of wind blowing from the diamond to the outfield. Let's get to the picks. The White Sox are the betting odd favorites in this game, and I like them here on the money line. The game total set at 8.5. I like the over 8.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Vargas of the White Sox to hit a home run today. Alright, up next, we got the Yankees in Kansas City taking on the Royals. We got Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yankees, the left-handed pitcher Noah Cameron on the mound for the Royals. Getting into this one here, the Yankees trying to complete the sweep of the Royals. They stomped on Kansas City yesterday, 15-1. Today, Garrett Cole's making his second start of the season for the Yankees. Looked really good in that first start. Pitched 5 scoreless innings. Fastball was topping out around 99. 1 or 2 times it hit 100. Looking at the matchup here today for him, He's going to be seeing a Kansas City Royals lineup. In their last 8 games played, they're only batting 220 as a unit, slugging 370. I can see Garrett Cole here today having another good outing. He matches up very well against this Kansas City Royals lineup. Their strikeout and their miss rate right now, their whiff rate is very high. I can see Garrett Cole having a good outing here today, going about 5-6 innings, possibly giving up a run. Looking at the Yankees bullpen, they've been playing much better this series, but the bullpen overall in the month of May has really shown regression. I'm expecting the Yankees bullpen to still come in this game, give up a run or two. On the other side, we got the left-handed pitcher Noah Cameron. Talking about regression, this guy in the month of May has looked absolutely terrible, giving up 3 or more runs in all of his starts. He saw this Yankees team in the beginning of April as well in Yankee Stadium, and that game gave up 4 runs to the Yankees. Looking at the matchup here today for him, I'm expecting this Yankees lineup to get to him. A bunch of guys, for one, the 2 left-handed bats, Ben Rice and Bellinger, have been killing lefties in the last 2 weeks. Not to mention, you still got Judge in the lineup, crushing left-handed pitching this season. I can see Noah Cameron going about 5 innings here today, giving up 3 to 4 runs, turning it over to a Royals bullpen. The Royals bullpen started off the season as one of the worst bullpens in the major leagues. Towards the top of May, end of April, the bullpen started to play good for about a week and a half stretch, but we're starting to see the regression once again out of this Royals bullpen. I'm expecting them to come in, give up 3 or 4 runs in this one. Looking at the weather, it's going to be very hitter-friendly. Ballpark Pal has it as the 4th best offensive game on the schedule here today. Let's get to the picks. The Yankees are the betting off favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 9. I like the over 9 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Aaron Judge of the Yankees to hit a home run today. Final game of the day, we got the Rockies in Los Angeles taking on the Dodgers. We got Shigano on the mount for the Rockies. We got Ohtani on the mount for the Dodgers. Shigano on the mount for the Rockies he's looked very good this season. Probably been their best starting pitcher up to this point. This game here today, this is not a good spot for him. For one, I was looking at the odds in this game. It is crazy, the discrepancy. They got the Dodgers money line at minus 390, meaning a $10 bet only pays $2.50 on the money line for the Dodgers. The run line is only minus 172, meaning it's $10 only paying $5. So the odds makers, this is probably one of the biggest odds discrepancy games I've seen this season up to this point. Doing the matchup for Shigano, I can see him getting rocked in this one. His hard hit rate's up to 51%. He struggles versus left-handed bats. He's going to be seeing some really good lefties. This Dodgers lineup offensively has really been hitting the ball well in the last week and a half, 2 weeks plus. They've really started to come along of late. I can see this Dodgers team getting 3-4 runs off of Shigano, him going 5 innings, turning it over to a Rockies bullpen that's incredibly taxed coming into it. I see them getting lit up when they come in this game here today. On the other side, we got Ohtani on the mound. He's looked dominant through his first 6 starts, ERA below 1. Looking at the matchup here today for him, this Rockies lineup, since Moniak has gone down, we've really seen like they've offensively, their numbers have crumbled up to this point. In their last 6 games played, the Rockies are batting .211 as a team, only slugging .370. I could see Ohtani having another good start here today, going about 6 to 7 innings where he possibly gives up a run, if not scoreless, turning it over to a Dodgers bullpen that's still one of the best bullpens in the majors. They continue to play well here in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. I see them coming in, shutting the door on the bats for the Rockies. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be about 80 degrees, wind really not doing anything. Let's get to the picks. The Dodgers are the betting off favorites. I like them on the money line here. The game total set at 8.5. I do like the under 8.5 total runs. For the player prop, I like Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers to hit a home run today. Alrighty guys, before we get up out of here, the 4 bets we'll be placing here today ourselves. Like I said, we're on a 4-game losing streak coming into it. Our record on our solo bets, we're now 34-21 on the season. Let's get back on track. Our ladder play of the day here today is going to be the New York Yankees on the run line. We're getting them at plus 102. This is our ladder play of the day. After that, we'll be just playing a 2-leg home run parlay here today. We're going to start it off with Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies, and we wrap it up with Aaron Judge of the Yankees, a 2-leg home run parlay. Up next, we have a 3-leg parlay we're playing here today. We're going to start it off with the Philadelphia Phillies on the run line. We're then going to play the Los Angeles Angels on the money line. And we wrap up the parlay with the Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line. And our final bet of the day will be another 3-leg parlay where we started off with the Atlanta Braves on the money line. We're then going to play the Mariners Athletics game total to go under 9.5 total runs. And we wrap up the parlay with the Chicago Cubs on the money line. I think this is where the streak ends for both of us here today. A $10 3-leg parlay. Once again, guys, I just want to send my salutes out to you all. You guys know I appreciate you all. I respect you all. Hope we all win some money here today. And I'm going to catch you on the next one.